As Heletta and Josh pointed out at the top of the show, it's been announced that in the upcoming Star Trek Beyond, the character of Mr. Sulu, currently being played by actor John Cho, will be revealed as an openly gay character who has a husband and a child. As reported in the story, the first act of the movie will show Sulu being depicted as a father with a same-sex partner. Cho expanded on this by saying that the approach was to not make a big deal out of it. And that's a good thing, because not only is the movie not going to make a big deal out of it, but we shouldn't be making a big deal out of it either. Right now, the internet is filled with questions about the change of Sulu from being a straight character to being a gay character. Why change the story, people ask. And on the surface, it's a fair question to ask. At least until you think about it and realize that making Mr. Sulu an officially gay character doesn't actually change anything at all. Think about it for a moment. At no time in the original series or in the movies are we introduced to any love interest for Sulu. Not once. Technically speaking, there is no evidence in the original show or in the subsequent movies that Mr. Sulu was heterosexual or straight at all in the first place. Now, some may object and point out that in the movie Star Trek Generations, Captain Kirk meets Sulu's daughter, Demora Sulu. However, in that scene there is no mention of a mother. Demora's existence is completely consistent with Star Trek Beyond's assertion that Sulu has a husband and a daughter, presumably adopted. This in no way contradicts or conflicts with Demora's appearance in Generations, and actually kind of supports it. And when you stop to think about it, coming out and declaring that Sulu is and has always been a gay man is completely consistent with the philosophy and boldness of the spirit of Star Trek. To boldly go where no man has gone before wasn't just talking about intergalactic geography. It was also about a television show going places no one else had gone and exploring themes that no one else was brave enough to tackle. Let's not forget that it was Star Trek that featured the very first interracial kiss on screen in history when Kirk planted one on Uhura. We may take that for granted now as not being a big deal, but it was most certainly a big deal at the time, and Star Trek was not afraid to go there. Now, there's no denying that the issue of homosexuality is still a political hot-button issue in America, and some may wonder why the people behind Star Trek are trying to make a political statement with their movie. However, I strongly contend that making Sulu an officially gay character is not a political statement at all. I submit that simply acknowledging reality isn't a political statement, but rather just an objective recognition of the reality around us. A Gallup poll conducted in 2015 revealed that roughly 4% of the American population identifies as gay or lesbian. That means, on the Starship Enterprise, under the command of James Tiberius Kirk, with a crew of 430 members of Starfleet, the law of averages states that there had to be at least 17 crew members that were gay or lesbian. That's a fact. That isn't a political statement, and it certainly isn't an agenda. It's just an acknowledgement of the reality. Why is it so hard to accept that Sulu, a character that has never been shown to be heterosexual, could be one of those 17 gay crew members on the ship? Only 1 to 2% of the population are redheads, so there should be more than double the amount of gay crew members than crew members with red hair. Would showing a ginger helmsman be a political statement, or just an acknowledgement that, hey, some people have red hair, so here they are? Look, I'm certainly not trying to influence whatever your personal political stance may be on any particular issue. Not at all. On the contrary, I'm simply trying to point out that regardless of your own political beliefs, be they left or right, conservative or liberal, Star Trek officially making Mr. Sulu a gay character isn't an attempt at political correctness, it's an attempt at reality correctness. And reality doesn't have a political affiliation. So what's the bottom line? Star Trek is taking a ship that has at least 17 gay crew members and saying that Mr. Sulu is one of them. Sulu, a character that has never been shown to be straight in the first place, and thus declaring him gay poses no inconsistencies with the history of the show, the history of the movies, or the history of the character himself. So let's move on from this issue, an issue that even the movie isn't going to make a big deal out of, and just start looking forward to Star Trek Beyond, a movie that could be amazing or suck. But I can guarantee you Sulu being gay won't have anything to do with it being one or the other. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week for the next installment of Film HQ.